What's up, everybody? Nicholas Kuzmich here from nicholaskuzmich.com. We're going live here because I want to talk about something super important to me that I get asked almost all the time. In fact, almost every single day. There isn't a day that goes by without someone coming to me and saying, "Hey, Nick, I've got this winning Facebook advertising campaign that's just going really well on a decent budget, but how do I scale it? How do I scale it without losing my return on investment? How do I scale it without losing my return on ad spend?" So in this video, what I want to talk about is scaling, but more specifically phase one. In fact, let me write this, of phase one of four on how to scale winning Facebook ad campaigns that don't compromise your return on ad spend, that don't mess up all your numbers. Hey, before we begin though, before I get into that, if you want my scaling training, now my scaling training regularly sells for $697. You can have it absolutely free today if you just go to nicholaskuzmich.com/rapid scaling. I'm giving it away as a bonus for anyone who joins the council, my premier community of Facebook advertisers and online entrepreneurs who are looking or realize the fact that information is good, but access is even better. And it's a community where you get access to me and some other great, really smart, intelligent folks who are there to help you in every way that they can to advance and get you accelerated results with your campaigns. Now, back to scaling phase one of four today. Here's the deal. I bet if you're anything like me, what has happened is you had a winning Facebook ad campaign, right? You're running it on decent budgets, and everything is going well with the campaign, right? You're making money and life is good. And then all of a sudden, as you go back to the campaign and you increase the budgets, because figure, hey, if I'm spending $100 a day and I'm making a 5-to-1 return on investment, why don't I just spend $1,000 a day and make the 5-to-1 on investment and keep spending? But if you've done anything like this, where you've had a winning campaign, you're spending some decent money with it, you increase the campaign, and what happened? Everything went to the toilet, right? You all know this experience where all of a sudden you had this winning campaign and all of a sudden you dropped the quality of the campaign, or the quality of the campaign dropped because all of a sudden you started spending more money. So the question is always ask, hey, what do I do, or how do I properly scale winning Facebook ad campaigns in order to get better results, maintain my CPAs or maintain my KPIs, my key performance indicators, and not really compromise this all in a process, and especially to avoid this, right? Avoid spending more on your budgets and seeing everything go down the toilet. So here's what I have found. We have a very particular 4-stage, what I call rapid scaling matrix or rapid scaling system. It's 4 stages where you layer one stage on top of the other, on top of the other, on top of the other. So you can scale as much as, in our case, certain cases, we spend up to $100,000 or more a day on a particular campaign without it really fudging our numbers too much. Now, of course, the more you spend, the more you scale. Yes, you will get some degraded CPAs, but not to the max where you have to absolutely turn this thing off. So we have 4 phases to do that. In this video, I'm going to show you phase number 1, and then in another video, I'll show you phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Now, before I kind of continue here, again, if you want my rapid scaling system, this is a 90-minute training where I literally deep dive into these 4 phases. I go really deep. I explain everything that I do and exactly how I do it. This normally sells for $697, but today you can have it absolutely free as a bonus if you join the council, our monthly membership community, for a lot less than that. If that's of interest to you, all you need to do is go to nicholaskuzmich.com/rapid scaling to be able to get that program. Again, free as a bonus for if you join the council. Now, here's the process. Scaling phase 1 of 4. It's what I call pace budgeting. Now, the reason why we call it pace budgeting is because our first step to increasing the spend on any particular campaign that is working really well for us. Now remember, to us, working really well means it's a green light. Now in a completely separate video, I talk about what I call the magic metric. And anytime you are having a campaign that is well under your magic metric, to me, that's a green light. Green light means go, 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 means scale, 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 right? So if I have a green light campaign, what I'm looking to do is pace budget. Now, how do you pace budget? Here it is in its very simplest form. You have to remember that every time you make any sort of an edit to a Facebook ad or an ad set, it technically resets the Facebook algorithm, and Facebook has to spend another little bit of time to figure out and re-optimize your campaign to find its kind of baseline. And so every time you edit the copy, every time you edit the budgeting, every time you edit an image, anytime you do any sort of modification to an ad or an ad set, what tends to happen again is that your Facebook decides to like reset the algorithm, recalibrate the whole thing, re-optimize for conversions, and then settle. And this typically takes, again, there's no perfect number here, but this typically takes about 24 hours to do. So here is the goal with pace budgeting. We want to increase our budgets, but we don't want to do it too drastically, because if we do it too drastically, again, Facebook gets all out of whack. If you go from spending $100 a day, all of a sudden spending $4,000 a day, Facebook's algorithm freaks out. It looks at what you're doing and says, whoa, something must be off here. It tries to aggressively spend, throws off the algorithm, and all of a sudden, again, your returns go down the toilet. So the first thing you want to do is increase your budget, but you want to do it at a paced rate and at a pace increase. What I like to do is anywhere from 15 to 20% increases. This ensures that as you are increasing your budgeting, you're not going too fast or too hard that throws Facebook all that's off. When you can do it this much, it allows Facebook to kind of like recalibrate for you. And then again, if things go bad, it's not that you're going to lose your shirt in the process, but you're doing slow and steady increases. The name of the game here really is patience. You got to have patience when you're scaling. Most people I know, when they start to scale fast and scale hard, and all of a sudden things go out of whack. So the first part of pace budgeting is the increasing of your budget, but not too drastic, right? We want to do about 15 to 20% increases. And here's the other step. Every other day. I hope you can see that, no problem. The reason why we do it every other day, remember what I just told you here, right? Facebook takes about 24 hours to reset the algorithm and to re-optimize a campaign to get it kind of humming and hoeing and finding its baseline. If you are increasing like 40 or 50 or 100% of your budget every single day or multiple times a day, you're really not giving Facebook the opportunity to settle, to find and reset the algorithm and to find its baseline. You're constantly making changes. Facebook is constantly trying to learn and adapt and figure all this stuff out. The algorithm goes out of whack, and again, you get terrible results. So instead, pace budgeting, phase one of scaling, is simply slow and steady and consistent low increases. Not too crazy with your increases, just slow and steady daily budget increases, and you want to do them every other day. By doing them every other day, you're allowing Facebook to kind of settle down, to find the algorithm, to find what works, and then you can see, hey, if I increase it 20% today, do my numbers still hold up? Again, before I continue, if learning about scaling is super important to you, I have my program, the Rapid Scaling Matrix. Usually sells for $697 today. You can have it absolutely free. All you got to do, it's a bonus for joining the council, my wicked monthly membership program full of digital entrepreneurs, digital advertisers, Facebook advertisers, doing some pretty amazing things, sharing everything they know to be true about this, where you get access to me on a daily basis. You can just go to nicholaskuzmich.com/rapidscaling for details on that. So go ahead and check that out. But again, here's why we want to do this. Every other day, 15 to 20% increases. It allows Facebook to settle. It allows you to see if that budget increase maintains your CPA or your KPI before you make another decision. Because one of three things is going to happen, right? Number one, when you do this increase and you let it settle for 24 to 48 hours, When you see that settle, either everything's going to stay the same, right? Your 4-to-1 return is going to stay a 4-to-1 return. That's brilliant. Then the day after or every other day, we're going to increase it some more, right? The other thing that can happen is it could go totally down the toilet, right? It could give you terrible returns. Your 4-to-1 returns becomes a negative return. You are now in the red and you're in a bunch of trouble and you got to make an adjustment. I'll tell you what to do in just a second. Or thirdly, you raise your budgets and you get an even better return, right? You're going 4-to-1 return. Now you're going 6-to-1 return. It means you're on the right pace. But again, by doing it this way and not rushing the process, you're allowing yourself and Facebook to kind of work together to make sure that this scales at a pace that is sustainable. Now, here's the thing. When you do this, right, those one of three things are going to happen. We call those red, yellow, and green light. If it red lights, well, let's say if it green lights, you smile, you celebrate, you give someone a high five, and you keep going the next 48 hours, increasing that, right? If it kind of like flatline yellow light, all good, right? Not a bad thing. You just keep at that pace because your KPIs or your CPAs are intact. But if this thing now turns on you, which it can happen at some point, right? You could be doing this for 3 weeks, you could be doing this for 4 weeks, you could be doing this for 6 weeks, and all of a sudden you will get to a point. Let me just kind of break the news to you. You will get to a point, to a place of diminishing returns. Okay? At some point, the budget is going to be too high for you to sustain. The algorithm will turn on you, and your CPAs and your return on ad spend will not be where you want them to be. When that happens, all you have to do is go 2 levels back, right? In other words, let's call it 40% backwards, because you've raised 20%. 2 days later, you've raised it another 20%, so let's call that 40%. As soon as this thing redlines on you and it turns against you, the point of diminishing return, you're going to go back 2 phases. So 40%, 2 phases, to the point where when it was working. And 8 times, 9 times out of 10, that reducing of the budget maintains everything that used to be, and you can kind of hang out in that range until, again, your frequency goes too high, or everybody in your marketplace has seen it, and then it turns on you for a different reason, right? This is phase 1 of 4 of the rapid scaling system. Now, in the next video, sometime soon, I will tell you about phase 2 on what to do after you've done this and you've kind of hit your caps on your various ad sets. We'll tell you what to do next. Again, if scaling winning Facebook campaigns is super important to you, right? If you have winning campaigns and you just kind of scratching your head at saying, how do I make things even better? Because every time I scale, things go down the toilet for me. If that's you, I want to invite you to get my Rapid Scaling Matrix program. Usually sells for $697. You can have it absolutely free by joining the council today, my premier community of Facebook advertisers, online, offline, digital advertisers who are looking to use Facebook to get better results. It's a wicked community of just really smart, wonderful, beautiful people who get to share all that's going on, because here's the reality. Information is good, but access is better. You can have all the information in the world, but unless you have access to people like me and other people who are in the trenches getting the work done. And imagine you're just kind of like running a campaign and you get stuck. And now you have to like sort through hours of courses to find an answer. Or you can hop into the group at any time of the day, ask a question, say, hey, here's what I'm doing. I have a screenshot. Look at what's going on. Help me out. Let me take a look. Either myself or someone else in the group will just kind of jump in there, get you the results, get you the answers that you're looking for so you can have the results that you're looking for. So again, this is phase 1 of scaling. Scaling, winning Facebook ads, phase 1 of 4. We'll come back with phase 2, 3, and 4, but this is the best place to start. We call it pace budgeting. Follow the instructions to this T, and you'll start to see even better results with your Facebook ads. Look, I hope this was helpful for you. More than just being helpful for you. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, a heart, a love, whatever. Share it. For goodness sakes, if you know someone who can benefit from this, go ahead and share this information. Of course, I'm looking to do much more of these to help our community out. Go ahead, share it, like, comment. Let me know what your greatest takeaway was from here so I can kind of make some mental notes and help you further with this, all right? Everybody, all the best. Stay tuned. We'll come back for more real soon. Again, if this is of interest to you, if you're serious about scaling your Facebook ad campaigns, nicholaskuzmich.com/rapid scaling. Get my program for free just by joining the council today. I do look forward to hearing from you soon, and we'll talk real then. All the best, and see you soon.